The worst crime that you can commit in Hong Kong is to embarrass the police, who was clearly violating the law, violating police regulations, and was completely out of control. It was not just about me, but about sort of symbolic of the moral decay of the government and the police. This was a crime by two men beating up people on a shopping Saturday. This was all recorded on video. This is self-explanatory and really indisputable. There was not a decision made based on rule of law in my case. The first time I saw her there, and she was being kept in a little cell, and she was just so pitiful. That led to me adopting her, and now she's my big, beloved, drooling daughter. The first several weeks were very hard. You wake up feeling kind of miserable, doubting yourself, and then you get this packet of letters in the morning, and they're just reminding you to stay strong. And I mean, they're just incredibly helpful. Just tons and tons of letters from welfare and from my friends and my family and from strangers. But what I really realized inside from some of these letters is how much my case touched people personally. I had recognized that people supported me, but it wasn't just for feeling sorry for me. I think it was really about morality. I don't have any regrets. I did everything I was supposed to do under the law. I did everything that I was supposed to do as a human being. Look, I mean, because I did this, yeah, I had to go to prison for a little while, but I learned a lot in prison. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about what I can be doing. After I got adjusted, after several weeks, it was quite enlightening to me because it really made me realize what matters in life. Coming out of prison, what I told myself is I want to make sure that for the rest of my life that I'm doing something for prisoner support. And I've got a separate batch of letters, which is letters that I received from other people inside. He says, "Dear Mr. Samuel, former jailhouse lawyer, warm greetings to you, counsel, and the people whom you love most. I'm glad that you're out there because you don't belong in here. On my side, I've learned to live with pain. In fact, I believe that it will be part of me for the rest of my life. The thoughts and memories of my wife, babies, parents." One of the reasons I'm so intent on bringing the appeal in my case is to test the rule of law in the higher courts, because appeals are expensive, they take a lot of time, they make you very vulnerable. And if he put me on that short sentence, he expected that I would just serve my sentence and leave. And they've been doing that in a lot of cases. So I refuse to allow that to happen in my case. I'm going to challenge them. Not because it's necessarily the best thing for me, the easiest thing for me, but because I believe firmly and wholeheartedly that I have a duty to do this for my belief in the law and for Hong Kong and for my faith in God. I was silent for a year and a half, thinking naively that that would show sort of respect for the law and respect for the rule of law and respect for the process. That got me thrown in prison. I don't see any reason to stay quiet. The one thing about being in prison is once they put you in prison, you kind of stop being afraid of prison. They can't hold that over you anymore. I started speaking out pretty soon after Chao Hang Tong started speaking out. I think these are people of enormous faith, and my faith is something that's really important to me and is not quite as enormous, but I want it to be. I made a commitment in prison that I wasn't going to make decisions based on being afraid of the Hong Kong police. I think the best thing that we can all do is stand our ground and speak out for what's right and speak out for the law. I got to Hong Kong in 2013 and I just really loved it and I wanted to stay. It's because of my experience getting to know Hong Kongers in prison. It makes me a lot more aware of the gap between the life I lived in Hong Kong before compared to how many, many Hong Kongers live their life. For a long time, I would hear a lot of expat friends and colleagues and contacts would kind of say, well, this isn't going to affect me. You don't hear that much anymore. Instead, you hear most of them making plans to leave. In that sense, I find the whole situation quite disheartening, but I still love Hong Kong. I mean, everybody keeps asking me, are you going to go back to the US? But yeah, Hong Kong is my home.